Greetings and welcome to Jefficho Films. This 2001 American science fiction action horror movie was written and directed by John Carpenter, starring the lovely Natasha Henstridge as Lieutenant Melanie Ballard, Ice Cube as James Desolation Williams, Jason Statham as Jericho Butler, Clea DuVall as Bashira Kincaid, and Pam Grier as Commander Helena Braddock. So let's review Ghosts of Mars. This movie starts out with Natasha being a sole survivor on a freight train that returned on autopilot. The council gathers and she's brought before them to answer some questions. And then we go back to the story that she experienced in the past. Natasha's with a group of police force, but they've got a long train ride ahead of them, so she does drugs. It's like an ocean washing over you. Her commander flirts with her to tell her that they're picking up Desolation Williams for a prison transfer and that he is accused of killing 6 people. But they've lost communications with the colony, and when they arrive, it seems desolate. The planet's only 84% terraformed, so they have these breathing tubes on their shoulders they suck air out of on occasion. Statham's rather flirty with Natasha as they're checking out the prison camp.
But you seem to be holding together all right.
What you see is nothing. I have numerous hidden talents.
Williams is still in his cell, so they head out and they see flickering light from another building, so they head in, and ew, there's blood everywhere and the rooms are in shambles, and there's some Hellraiser barbed wire things hanging from the ceiling, and Natasha finds a severed arm.
This is not making me happy.
All right, it's time to get back up.
The rookie tells them that they found a slaughterhouse, and we jump back to the council talking to Natasha, which is a mistake because now we know who survives. Thanks guys. Also, she tells them what the rookie saw, so we follow the 3 of them heading off into another building, finding bodies hanging. I guess the rookie must have told her because it's very well described. The group meets up and Bashira can't get a hold of the train. We learn that Desolation is being charged with killing 6 people and hanging their bodies, much like they found in the mess hall. Statham pops open the door to the prison and we meet some randos. Akooshay, Zimmerman, Bentley, and Dr. Arlene Whitlock, who's in charge of mining operations and rode a weather balloon there, but she's not a good pilot.
The storm forced me too low. I hit a windmill and crashed.
The prisoners tell them they haven't seen anybody in 6 hours, and we see Bashira's holding a gun on a door. I mean, she could have radioed for somebody and asked for help, but she's just holding on it. Yes, something's pounding on there, but you just waited for people to walk by. There's a crazy chick inside, and she has an orange possessed vision.
Disarm her.
Pam and Nat find a guy inside of a rover with a knife and he shouts at them, "Don't come in, don't let it out," and then he cuts his own throat. Pam sees something off in the distance and wanders off. Not a good idea. Statham shows up and asks what's going on, so Natasha recaps it and says that he said, "Don't come in, don't let it out." So she wants him to open the door, cause that's logical. Did you not just listen to what the guy said? Statham does use logic though, and he says, "No, we're not opening that door." Natasha goes back to the jail to find Desolation's free with the knife to Bashira's throat. She puts down her gun and switches places with Bashira, and then she beats his ass until he gives her a knockout punch to the camera.
I know I'm gonna get everything I want. Now let's go. Damn, girl. I like you already.
Desolation Williams ran into the clinic and Natasha follows, and she finds some crazy people in there. There's one guy that's just staring at his hands with orange possessed vision, and a crazy chick just attacks her and Williams saves her. And then she saves Williams and they get the hell out of there before the orange possessed thing could escape and gets locked in there. Then we get a flashback from Williams and some awkward acting. Statham went looking for the commander and he sees this crazy chick put Pam's head on a spike. There's a bunch of other heads there, and he follows her closer and sees this camp where a bunch of people are just worshipping a guy that looks like he's the leader of a Kiss army, and they're chopping off heads, and it's not even for a prize like to be the last immortal. The doctor gives an explanation how there's organisms in the water on Mars, and then the crazy chick jumps out of the supply room and they kill her, and the possession cam decides to leave her and go inside one of the guys in the cell. Statham found 3 people and said there must have been like 200 of them. I counted more like 50. And then we get a flashback of when he found the 3 people. And they give us a flashback of what happened when they got there and seeing all the people change. We just got a flashback within a flashback. You guys are overdoing it. They said they saw an orange cloud come in and possess the miners, and then they just started cutting themselves, killing the ones that didn't change, so there is an immunity. And they were filing their teeth down, and they also said they didn't have guns, but they lied about that too, because they're there to get Desolation Williams out. Again, Statham's left to be the only logical character in this, which is nice change in a horror movie, and he says that they should work together to survive. But the criminals are stupid, so when they go to get Williams free, they go in the cell.
Smart plan, Desolation. Thought you was watching the door. I was! Bitch, you better open this door.
I don't think so.
Natasha decides to make a deal with Williams and let him out, and then she deputizes the others, and they start making these little explosive bombs, and one of Williams' guys does a laugher, which is a drug that just turns his brain into Swiss cheese, and when he's trying to impress a girl with cutting hands, he cuts off his own thumb.
That's beautiful!
The doc explains that they're getting vengeance for anyone who's trying to take the planet of Mars, and she has a flashback of when they were mining and they found this great big door and opened it, and then the orange gas came out and started killing people. So they load up on guns and they go out and wait for the train, but then the mine office blows up and people start appearing on buildings throwing shit, so Williams comes up with a plan C, run and gun, and this shot takes out like 6 people. At this point you really notice they need to coordinate their extras. Also, Thumbelina drops an explosive in front of him, and it really should blow him backwards, but instead it propels him upwards and forwards. They kill a bunch of them in the battle, and the Kiss Army guy screams, and the rookie guy loses arms to a flying saw blade, but he's manly enough to keep firing with his other arm. Dude, you'd be in so much pain. They get back inside the prison and they find out the train is on its way. Williams and Nat have a conversation that's something, and Statham makes a move on Nat, and she kisses him, but then he gets interrupted by Bashira killing the possessed prisoner. It goes inside of Natasha and they decide to take her outside, and Statham finds her little drugs and puts one in her and says, this will kill anything in her, and she has visions of the past war on Mars with some really bad CGI, and then she coughs out the Mars ghost, so I guess not all drugs are bad. Natasha wakes up, finds herself outside. She fights a dude, kills him, takes his sword, uses it as a grappling hook to get back inside, and she tells the others the Martians want to kill any invading force. We kind of already figured that out, and then the battle begins. And it's a good strategy when they're going 2 by 2 and just keep replacing each other so the others can reload. The prisoner chick gets killed and the Kiss Army guy gets lit on fire, but don't worry, he's okay. They get outside and they make it to the train, and every building outside starts to explode, and I'm not too sure why. They barely got away, but Natasha wants to go back because she thinks they have a chance to stop them. She asks the doctor about the nuclear power plant, and even if they do explode it, is that really going to kill the ghost version that's like possessed these bodies? Statham and the doctor head inside the power plant while Bashira and Williams are attacking from the train. She's 2-gunning it, my kind of girl. Then they take some casualties. The doc is possessed. The conductor of the train gets killed. Natasha takes a knife in the leg. Bashira gets taken out by flying saw blades, and the backup conductor gets taken out by flying saw blades. And then Statham gets taken down by a group of them and we don't actually see him get killed. This is bullshit. You do not kill Jason Statham. Natasha and Desolation Williams get on the slowest moving train ever, and so does everybody else. He leaves her because he says he's going to go lighten the load, and then she opens the door and gets attacked. Williams fights the Kiss Army dude, but then he separates the train, and then it explodes. I mean, it's going really slow. Kiss Army dude could have just walked right off and been fine.
See you later, you big motherfucker.
The nuke goes off, and then Williams stitches up Nat's leg, and then he handcuffs her after they chat. I mean, she pulls out his gun and she could have shot him, or she could shoot the cuffs, and he gets off. Back at the council, they don't know what to say. I mean, the story's so unbelievable, except like some of the facts are there. I mean, you know there was a nuclear explosion, and you know there was only one survivor, you don't know where anybody else is. So, you know, they just kind of end it. She takes a nap, and the orange gas starts to invade the colony. And then Desolation Williams shows up and gives her a gun, and they have a lame talk at the end.
If you ever want to come to the other side, you make a hell of a crook.
You'd make a hell of a cop.
Let's just kick some ass.
It's what we do best.
This had a budget of $28 million and only made $14 million, so that's a pretty big bomb, but Carpenter's movies are generally just cult movies that make money down the road. This originally was supposed to be a sequel to Escape from LA, but it did so poorly that they changed the title from Escape from Mars to Ghosts of Mars, and they replaced Snake Plissken with Ice Cube, which was a poor choice. They really pushed for Ice Cube too, they really wanted him for this role, but his acting wasn't quite there yet. He's gotten better, but not back then. Having the council meetings, I think, was a big mistake in this because it really just killed the suspense of the movie. This was supposed to be a horror movie, but I wasn't really scared at any time. The Kiss Army guy was pretty awesome, definitely a big Typo Negative fan. Carpenter helped compose the music too, using some good 80 bands like Anthrax and that, and the use of miniatures was really well done. The acting was a bit questionable, but in their defense, the dialogue writing was really bad. Originally, Courtney Love was cast in the main role, but they had Femke Janssen and Michelle Yeoh also audition for it. Femke Janssen would have been a good choice. I mean, Natasha Henstridge started out as a model, and she did great in A Species, but I'm not sure she was ready for this role. Jason Statham was originally cast to play Desolation Williams, but the producers wanted a bigger name, so they went with Ice Cube, which was a mistake. I mean, Statham was only on his 4th movie, and he hadn't started the Transporter movies yet, so it wasn't as big of a name at that time, but way better actor. Would have been perfect for the role. If you think of Snake Plissken and Kurt Russell, you would think Jason Statham would be another excellent choice.
Rather cozy, don't you think?
You lured me back here to seduce me?
Yeah, well, the way things are going, I thought this might be our last chance to dance.
So overall, I think this is one of those movies I kind of remembered more fondly than I should have. Thankfully, it's only 98 minutes, and there's not a lot of downtime to be bored or anything, but those dialogue scenes were painful to sit through. But the action's solid, the gore is decent. I mean, the story could have used some tweaking, but it's not a bad watch, so if you haven't seen it, go ahead and check it out at your own risk. And as always, thanks for watching.
Yeah.